Streaming live via the internet. Welcome to ISP Radio, your weekly source for ISP-related news, events, and interviews with industry experts. If you deliver internet via fiber optic, wireless, coax, or any other way, you're in the right place. Chat live with us weekly via ispradio.com every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now a brief word from our sponsors. Link Technologies, providing ISP consulting, support, and hardware for wireless ISPs. TowerCoverage.com, providing online RF coverage maps. Mimosa Networks, providing high-density, high-bandwidth radio products. Advanced LLC, providing retail and wholesale advanced communication services by matching providers with your bandwidth needs. And by Sitel, providing reliability in surge suppression. And now your host for ISP Radio, Steve Grabiel and Dennis Burgett.
Welcome to another edition of ISP Radio. I'm your host, Steve Grabiel, and I'm broadcasting from my home office in Los Angeles, and I've got Dennis co-hosting the show and producing the show from St. Louis, Missouri. So out here in California, it's pretty dry, but the interior of the nation is being flooded. I just talked to a customer, got an email. He said we got 4 inches of rain last month in New Mexico, which is outstanding considering we never get rain. So we've been really blessed with that. I know Dennis has been talking about all the rain they've gotten, world record style of rain and more coming. So what happened last week? I think not much. I had the 4th of July, had a really nice 4th of July out here. My wife and I went to the Hollywood Bowl and watched Smokey Robinson sing and watched the fireworks show. It was pretty outstanding. Dennis, you got any news out there or anything of importance to talk about?
Oh, yeah, we got tons of stuff going on this week. So first off, for those of you that don't know, and I know if you are a regular listener, you've always heard me say this, but Wispapalooza is coming up October 10th through the 17th in Las Vegas. Make sure you put that in your calendar just so everybody knows this week is the last week that you get the discounted full conference pass. So on July 12th, again, before next week's show, the discounted pass, you'll actually pay another $50 more just to register next week if you want to. So register this week. It is very, very important you do so. Lots of things going on there. The vendor space is filling up. It is turning out just like every year. It's always going to be a great show, but it is going quite well. For those of you that don't know as well, we have the Form 477. Now, technically, this is due by September 1st. However, it's reporting on data from the first part of the year, from Jan 1 to July 1st. So anytime after July 1st, guess what? You can submit it. You can get it done before the due date, before the FCC servers crash and you can't import it and you can't update it. So make sure you get out there and get your Form 477 done and get it submitted well before the September 1st date. You know, don't procrastinate. It has to happen. You have to get it done. At least get started on it. Do something on it, please. With that said, the only other thing is, of course, weather here in the Midwest. Last month we had a record rainfall here in.
Well, hey.
Yep, you had something there, Steve? Nope, I guess not. Last month we had
I was going to talk about Wispapalooza real quick.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I signed up for my hotel room. It was $105 a night, and I also got a flight out of Los Angeles to Vegas for $44 one way. So Southwest has a good deal going for you guys that need to plan your travel. I think I even saw $73 one-way trips.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that type of pricing at all. So that was $100. So it's $105 a night for the hotel room. This is at the Rio too. This is on the Strip at the Rio. Beautiful hotel. Make sure you check that out. You can go on to wispa.org and you can actually go ahead and put in all your information and go ahead and reserve your room nights and all that kind of good stuff. Rio is a beautiful place and everybody should enjoy it. And as you said, flights are still early, so you should be able to get there or get them fairly inexpensive. Back to the weather here. Last month we had the record rainfall for June in St. Louis. It was over 13 inches, and guess what? We're going to get another 4 inches this week. So no whitewater rafting, or I guess if we had whitewater, we could raft it, but no float trips, that type of stuff. Lots and lots of flooding around here. So fortunately, it's actually a really good thing. We've had a couple really good severe storms come through, and what was really nice about these is that we didn't have any issues. So it's really nice to be able to sit there and have your network up and running, etc., and not have to worry about your network, even though you're having tons of rain, tons of lightning, etc. So it can be done, people. Keep it up. With that said, Steve, if you would like to introduce our guest today.
For sure. Well, on today's show, I have Jay Rohr with the product they offer is Mailxtream from eVanguard. And with that, Jay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for having me on the show.
You bet. Thanks for being on the show. I got introduced to Jay through my billing solution, PowerCode. They are a third-party API on that platform that allows me to mail out my invoices to those folks that don't read their email or don't want to read their email, and therefore get me paid quicker. So with that, I'd just like Jay to explain about the solutions that they offer and how they can help ISPs. So take it away, Jay.
All right. Again, thanks for having me on the show. Mailxtream is a online service that basically was built to allow small, medium-sized businesses to print and mail their routine, transactional, one-to-one correspondence. This includes invoices, statements, legal notices, anything that is one-to-one type mailings. With PowerCode, we're integrated directly into the back end so that a client signs up with PowerCode, they sign up with Mailxtream, we give them credentials, they enter them in PowerCode, and then PowerCode sends us your invoices on your behalf. We print and mail them without you ever touching them. Reduces your effort. You don't have to stock paper. You don't have to stock envelopes. You don't have to sit by the printer waiting for your invoices to print. You don't have to fold them, stick them in envelopes, put postage on them, take them to the post office. So depending on the size of business that you have, that's the volume of invoicing, you can reduce your time to produce your invoices from hours to literally seconds, the time it takes you to hit the print button on your printer. This is not limited to PowerCode. Basically, we like to say, if there's anything on your desktop that you can print to a local printer, we can mail it. That includes if you're using QuickBooks for something, we can mail the invoices right out of QuickBooks simply by printing to a printer, selecting our printer instead of yours, and we'll take care of it. If you have a document that for some reason you want to print instead of email, bring up the document, hit print, select our printer, select one of our our standard templates, type in the name and address, we'll put a cover sheet on it, we'll print it and mail it. Simple. We haven't found much yet that we cannot print directly from your desktop or integrate into an automated system. We can. All of our mail goes out in windowed envelopes, so your addressing has to show through, but we have the ability to extract the address from somewhere else in the document and create the cover sheet for you. So we pretty much cover any business type correspondence, transactional mail that you need to send from your business.
Right. So if you can print it, it can be mailed through Mailxtream at a probably a cost savings to you. One thing I wanted to mention is, so I signed up with the service through the PowerCode API. What's the process of getting involved with Mailxtream and going forward and doing this?
It's really pretty simple, and we've tried to make it as easy as possible. We have our customers contact us either through the web or somebody referred them. We have a master service agreement that basically lays out our terms and conditions. Once that's signed, they send me a sample of their document. We will set up what we call a job template. Job template tells us how to, one, break their document apart, because we handle varying page length documents. So how do we detect the first page of each document? It defines where do we find a tracking ID within that document, a unique identifier for each one, which could be an invoice number somewhere in the page. It could be the first line of the outbound address and the outbound address. And then we define how you want this processed. I want simplex, duplex, black and white, color, these envelopes. We set that up. We run a test job. You fund the account, and you're done. We have had customers call us in the morning and ran their production that evening. It takes that little time to set up a job.
Mm-hmm. So we signed a master service agreement with you guys, and what are the, how do you do business? I mean, do you deduct every time you run a billing, or like for me, every time you run a billing, do you take your costs out of my bank account? Do I send you a check? How does this all work?
All right, Mailxtream is a prepaid service. If you think for a moment about a typical mailing, if I'm going to send a one-page document, without going into all the specifics of the detail, basically 2/3 of that mailing is postage, which has to be paid in advance. You cannot buy postage on credit. So if 2/3 is already has to be prepaid,
right,
what we do is you prepaid everything. You fund your account based upon what you think your volume is going to be. You fund your account. As you do mailings, we simply draw down from your account at the list price for each of the components that you're using, the envelope, the paper, the postage. At the end of the month, we go back and look at your previous month's production usage, that is non-postage. And based upon that, we rebate a volume discount back to your account. So the more you mail, the cheaper everything gets, as opposed to other services where your discounts are based on your one-time volume job size. Ours are based on your cumulative monthly production size.
Ah, okay. So the more you send, the cheaper it gets.
Right. Correct. And we combine everything. So if you're doing power code invoices and you also want to send out dunning letters, or you also want to send out some direct marketing type letters, all of that volume gets included together. It's not just one order template that's combined together. It's everything you put through us.
Gotcha. So, like, here's my example. I was using merchant services with Intuit, and utilizing their service to the fullest. Meaning, I would mail out my invoices to people that didn't want to receive an email, and that seemed to work pretty slick. But what you're basically saying is, if it can be printed, it can be mailed, and therefore, if I could print those invoices with a PDF or something, therefore it would go through the same process that I was using with Intuit. I could use you guys, right?
Correct. Well, Intuit, if I understand the way they work correctly, they're generating the invoices at their facility and then printing and mailing them. With us, you would process as though you were printing and mailing your own invoices on your own printer. So you would print, instead of selecting your HP printer or your Epson printer sitting on your desk, you would select the Mailxtream printer. Our print driver then would generate the PDF for all of your invoices, and then send it to us. We break it apart, we print it, we mail it. So it literally is no different than printing to your local printer. Simple.
Right. So tell us some stories of how you've helped people save money and time.
Well, I can tell a number of stories. We have some very small customers that were sending a couple pieces a day or a week. And now they can just, when you're doing small pieces, small batch runs, one or two, it takes you a lot longer to do it. than if you're doing a couple, because you get into a pattern. A lot of people that send us a couple, that's medical doctors' offices that are sending out notices you need to come in for a follow-up. We have a medical equipment manufacturer in Israel that sends their invoices through us. They have a distribution house in the U.S., but they're not willing to send invoices. So they send their invoices to us, we print and mail them here. On the other side of the spectrum, we have some very large customers that will upload 60,000 pages of invoices at one time. We break them apart. That may break into 3,000 documents and go anywhere from a number 10 all the way up to a jiffy bag. We print and mail them. We have some services, some additional services that we offer. Two in particular, we have what we call soft inserts. So let me step back. When you use our print driver, and you can do this with a web page as well, you use our print driver, you print your document. At that point, our upload driver pops up. At that point, you put in your credentials. You then select the order, the job template that you want to apply, that this order is applicable to, because you can have multiple ones, statements, invoices, letters. Pick the one you want. And at that point, you can also attach what we call soft inserts. So you could have additional PDFs that you want to be sent with this. So, for example, if you're doing invoicing from QuickBooks and you want to send a newsletter along, or you want to send a sales flyer along, you can attach the PDF of that, and we will print a copy of the PDF with each letter as it's going out.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you can put multiples. We'll print as many as you want. We also have a feature called householding. So you can upload multiple jobs to us, and if there is a common field that you want to match on, and the most common one is address. So if we get multiple documents from you that are going to the same address, we will put them in the same envelope, which cuts down on envelope costs and cuts down on your postage costs. Now, one of the extreme examples, we have a financial institution that does quarterly investor statements. They generate a mail-merged, individualized letter to each client that has the details, just one-page letter. They also have a market review that goes with it, and maybe another page, and twice a year they have a multi-page regulatory statement that they have to send with it. So they'll generate the mail merge document that may go to, I'm not sure what the number is now, maybe 2,500 people. They'll generate that mail merge, they'll upload it and attach the letter. Not the letter. The letter will be the printed piece, the regulatory and the market review as soft inserts. Then they'll go into their system and they'll pull the statements for each client. Now, a client may have multiple accounts. So they'll upload one at a time, one for each financial advisor. So each financial advisor has 5, 6, 10 different clients. Those all come up, so I'll end up with maybe 20 or 30 additional jobs that have multiple client statements in them. We then household them with the letters and produce a single package that goes out with the word merge letter, each of the additional documents, and each of the statements go with it. And that's done completely automated, hands off.
Wow, you just got my brain thinking. ISP could do maybe something of the following. If you have a restaurant that's on your service and they want to have a coupon sent out, if you're, in my case, say the local restaurant that I like wants to do a cross-promotional thing, I could probably include the soft insert coupon in that bill to these people and maybe get some revenue, advertising revenue from that restaurant. Oh, very interesting. I mean, is that kind of what you were talking about with the soft insert idea?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to send it out with the bill, I mean, that's something that PowerCode has to provide because PowerCode is sending me the statements.
Right.
or you could do it individually. But yes, that's exactly the type of thing that we do. We have an invoice is sent, and there's additional, like you said, marketing piece. It could be a newsletter. It could be we have a sale coming up on these items. Oh, by the way, on such and such a date, we're going to be down. Here's your notice that we're going to be down for a certain period of time. Anything you want, and there's no limit to the number of them that you can send. So, one of the features of Mailxtream is we will take your document. The document is just sheets of paper to us until we go to put it in an envelope. At that point in time, we will put it in the envelope that is the least expensive to mail. So if it will fit in a number 10 envelope, we'll put it in it. If it won't, we'll move it to a 6 by 9. And if it won't fit into that, we'll move it into a 9 by 12. And if it gets over 50 pages, we'll put it in a priority mailbox.
Right.
Something else, Steve, just to hop in here, something else you could do is what if whenever you update your terms and services or your privacy policy or anything like that, that would be a really good way to notify your customers that, hey, you have changed your terms and services, you need to either visit it online or here's the updated copy. And, I get the things from like Dish. When you get your bill, you get an extra page and, hey, we've updated our terms and services, and it's in such small print you can't read the dang thing anyway. But the point being is that they have notified us.
That's absolutely. And we do have people sending that out. With the large telco that we send out sends out a similar type letter with each invoice that they send out. Of any time there's a change in the terms and conditions or in the statutory laws that govern them, they'll just insert with us, and we'll print it and mail it with them.
Great point, Dennis. Before the show, Jay, we were talking about some of the objections that you may face when you're dealing with talking to people. What are some of those objections, and how do you dispel the myth?
Well, I mean, people inherently know that it costs them time and effort and resources to do their own mailing, but they typically don't think of that as a top priority. Now, if you wanted them to go spend, $10,000 on a piece of equipment, they're going to stop and think about it, but they typically treat manpower as a lost resource. It's a resource that I'm already spending, and it doesn't cost me anything because I'm going to pay for it anyway. As I said, I run into people who say, well, Mary's sitting at the front desk doing nothing anyway. She might as well stuff the envelopes and mail them. But my response typically is, well, you could have Mary doing something else instead of stuffing those resources. She could be doing calling for customers. She could be doing other things that are revenue producing for the company as opposed to something that is not revenue producing. And that will help from time to time. There are some people that still don't think of it that way. So that's an objection. One of the objections is people don't want to lose control of their documents. Well, that's one of the big features of Mailxtream. Mailxtream does not do composition at all. We print what you send us, except for the possibility of putting a cover address page on the front because your address didn't fit through the windows. We do not change your documents, even to the point where if you send us a document with a missing font, we won't substitute the font. We will fail the document, and either you have to fix the font so that we have it, you fix the document so that we have the font, you have to provide us the font, or you have to sign a waiver that says we'll let you print this with a substitute font, but we're not going to be held responsible. Fonts are probably the biggest issue we have with PDFs that are not generated with our print driver. It's amazing how bad PDFs can get out there.
Uh-huh.
We've gotten some stuff that is just absolutely incredible. I don't know how it even viewed right on a display. And most of the time, we've figured out a way to manipulate through it and get the documents printed and mailed. But again, the pushback on resource is the biggest one. The pushback on people don't understand what the real cost is for having that printer on their desk, what their paper cost is, what their ink cost is, what their inventory cost is. They've got to keep it around. I mean, if you're doing a lot of mailings, you've got to have envelopes stocked. You've got to have print cartridges stocked. You've got to have your paper stocked. So we eliminate all that. We take care of that all. You don't have to worry. You just print. We'll take care of it. So those are the major types of things that I have to explain to people is why Mailxtream works better than going out to a traditional type print house. Even if the traditional type print house would accept it, lots of them would not. Our primary customer base is probably well below the threshold that even a small print house would be willing to accept the jobs for.
Well, you bring up a great point. To me, we were talking earlier, and you said that's primarily your focus is small business from, 1- and 2-man shops up to, large institutions, but you seem to focus in on, and that's why I have you on. You treated me pretty fairly, and it worked really easily. You get the personal touch of a small business person. Is that correct?
That's right. I mean, I'm a small business. I know the pains that I go through when I needed to do some stuff before I got into this, and small businesses out there are fighting to make money. I mean, you're trying to compete with the big guys that have the benefit of volume discounts, and they can get volume pricing on their services, where the little guys can't, and they're struggling with it, where I'm turning around and giving small guys prices that in some cases are less than they can get from volume discounters because of the way our business works. And so, I mean, that's what we were built for, was to help small, medium-sized businesses to get through this piece, which is it's like I said earlier, it's not the core of their business. It's just something you have to do. So why spend a lot of money on it if you can't? Don't have to.
Exactly. Way to save yourself some money and time. I utilized it with the QuickBooks, and I went right with Mailxtream because they were a third-party API for the Power Code, and it was just simple. They made it easy for me, guys. Let's see here. Dennis, anything else that we talk about?
No, I mean, I think you guys covered 99% of that really, really well. I mean, this is a solution that if you do a lot of printing, if you do a lot of stuffing, and you need to automate that process in a very quick and easy way, as well as cost-effective way, instead of you having, I think he had said there was a client that they had people stuffing envelopes and printing stuff for 2 days every time that there was an invoice run. So every once a month, whenever they had to print, they printed invoices and stuffed envelopes for 2 days. And now they take that, they print all the invoices all at once straight to them, and that's it. They're done. So instead of 2 days worth of manpower work, they've eliminated that and brought it down to only a few minutes. And then you always go back to, what can I do with my time? I'll give you actually another good story, a good piece of information here, because this relates to my business as well. We offer a what we call a contract service, and this is a dedicated amount of money for a minimum number of hours per month. And the goal of that is so that you have a line item. Okay, you put in that line item as this is support with Link Technologies or whoever it may be, but you've already budgeted it. Once you do that and you budgeted that support time, what we find is all of a sudden you find extra things to get done. Things that, guess what, you didn't have time before to do, or because you are being, of course, price conscious, as everybody is all a small business owner is, you start finding things that, hey, I can do this because I have the time to do it. So the example I'll use is some of my customers, they'll sit there and they'll use up a couple hours every month, etc. And now they go, well, now that we're just paying on contract, we're paying it regardless. So, hey, what else can we get done? Hey, can we get our firewalls reviewed? Or, hey, can we start the IPv6 process, etc.? And this kind of goes to the same aspect with these mailing. If you have 2 or 3 people or however many it is, working on just mailing stuff, think of what else they could do with that time. And you get ahead of that curve all of a sudden. You get ahead of the hey, I'd like to do this. As Steven said, hey, maybe we want to do some cross-marketing with a local business. You know, that local business puts up a hotspot, and you go, hey, we're going to put a hotspot up, and you already buy our service. We're going to give you double the service, and we're going to put a hotspot in for free. But if you pay us XYZ, we'll put an insert in for the next 3 months saying, hey, go to this, you can sign up, get free internet, have a drink on us, or something like that, a cross post like that. And you make a little bit of money, you get the advertising and marketing exposure at that restaurant, etc. So, again, it kind of goes back to the fact, if you can make it simple, if you can make it easy, and now all of a sudden you free yourself up to come up with these new solutions, these new ideals to generate revenue, these new ideals to grow your business. That's exactly what this product is, exactly what we need as small business owners. We need to keep in the back of our minds. We can't do everything. It is not effective for you as a business owner for you to sit there and stuff envelopes. You have much better things to do, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have any other stories of some type of insane amount of manpower that they've been expending, and then all of a sudden they go, why haven't we been doing this before? I sit here and watch them laugh.
There's a lot. People are always amazed at how quickly we can turn this around. We've been doing this for 10 years. We're not a startup that happened last week and had a great idea and thrown it out. I mean, we've been doing. Mailxtream has been around for 10 years. I've been in this business for another 10 years before that, doing high-end print and mail systems. For example, the bankruptcy notices for the U.S. courts. The system I built did 650,000 pages of bankruptcy notices a day. Yes, I said that, a day. And that's just personal bankruptcy, no corporate. So we have a lot of experience on how to move this type of mail through the system and effectively and reliably get it out into the postal stream. Our jobs are all, the client can come log into our system and see every piece of mail that they've uploaded, track it through when it was printed, when it was mailed. We keep that information online for at least 90 days for you, so they can see and go back and see it. We even keep a copy of the document we sent if they want to pull it up and send it. We do also have for our medical and anybody else that has personal information, HIPAA information, financial information. We do have the ability to purge the data as soon as it has been produced. As soon as we purge it 7 days after it has been mailed, so we make sure that we have a record in case we have to check something. But 7 days after it's been mailed, the actual content of what was mailed is purged. All the metadata is maintained for the 90 days, so you can come back and say, okay, that job, that tracking ID, yes, it was mailed on this such and such a date. Excuse me. So we have that capability there. Our customers use it all the time. We have a wide range of people that have tried to use our service for different things. Some of them were good ideas, some of them were not. But we're always here to help try and make the system work for you. We have our print driver. We've made modifications over the years to support ideas that customers have called in and said, well, it'd be great if I could do this. And so we've made some changes. We have some, like I said, we have some single document templates that are standard for everybody that allows you to send a single document just by printing it, typing in an address, and it's gone. We are in the process right now of finalizing our integration to be able to provide all of this capability and send certified mail with electronic return receipts. So if you're sending things that require notification, we'll be able to do it direct from your desktop. Bring up a document, select a certified template, type the address in, we'll send it. You come back later, you can pull the signature off our site.
Jay,
good.
I got a question. Sorry for interrupting you, but this was an important thing we talked about earlier, the human factor. I know a majority of you ISPs out there email your people their monthly statements, and, that's the most efficient method. But in reality, people don't read their emails, and I think Dennis said of all the emails he's got going through his service, which was a god-awful amount, a bunch of that spam, and a lot of our invoices get thrown in the spam column, and they're ignored. Talk a little bit about the human factor of receiving the mail.
Yeah, we find that, a lot of people like to send the physical mail, and personally I like to get them myself, because it's a tickler that says, I've got an invoice I've got to pay. If something is automated and out of sight and out of mind, you forget about it. And like you said, the emails get lost in the spam folder, and then they don't get paid, and now your accounts receivable goes up. So if you're sending physical mail, it shows up in the mailbox, and that is, one, you got to do something with it, or two, it's that tickler that says, it's time that I got to generate this a payment here, unless you're doing automatic payment, then it comes through. But again, you've lost control of when your bills are paid, when your invoices are paid. So I like to say that the physical showing up of a piece of mail provides that reinforcement that, okay, I've got a bill due, I've got to pay it. I think there's some studies out there that I've seen that talk about, getting an invoice that has a remittance envelope in it, and people just respond to it. There was a study that showed that BREs don't necessarily, a business reply envelope that's prepaid does not necessarily get a better response rate than a courtesy reply envelope, which does not have postage. So it's not that much more to send it out that way, and then your customer has what they need, it's in front of them, and they pay it. So we've just seen that we get better responses with the physical than with email. We are in, again, another process of being able to take a single output stream of invoices, for example, and separate them into physical mail as well as email, and send some of them email if they've been identified as email. We're still working on, we have some issues with confirmed delivery. Email, it's hard to confirm that it's been delivered, as well as the security of it, especially if we're sending medical or financial data. So we haven't worked all the bugs out of it. Most of the machinery to make it happen is in place. It's the policy on the back end to let it happen that we're still struggling with.
Right. And, after talking to you today, it kind of opened my eyes up about this marketing component I could include within my mailer. I'm almost looking at it as going, one, it could improve my cash flow by sending them mail. I give them the option to mail or email, and, I agree with you. If I get something in the mail, that means I've got to do something with it, as where an email, it could be lost. So I'm looking at this as I might just go strictly and absorb the cost of doing this to a postage-based system for that reason, for increased cash flow. And then also if I could integrate the marketing component with some of the other businesses in my area that might want to, like Dennis has talked about, incorporate into the mailer as well, that might offset the cost of sending everyone paper mail.
That's true. It is always, if you're getting something there that's of usefulness to somebody, they're going to look at it, and they're going to consider whether to use it or not, and it's coming in from a business that they already know and that they already trust. So it's not like you're getting that piece of junk mail that came from nowhere and you don't know how they got your name or your number, your address. So it does have a different effect on people when they get that type of mail.
Like I said, I'm glad we talked, because this makes my brain start moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, you're going to need to go to PowerCode and get them to add that capability.
Well, no, that's another question. You know, we've got the API set up in the PowerCode, but I should be able to log into my account with Mailxtream and upload that coupon or that newsletter that I want to send out. I should be able to upload that and merge that into the billing, correct?
That's why I said you cannot currently.
I cannot currently, okay.
What needs to happen is you need to give that to PowerCode, and PowerCode sends it along with the invoice.
Okay, gotcha. In this case, yes.
Right. In this case, now on a normal, if you had an address list and you mail merged it with a document, then you could add the coupons, and it would be a separate mailing though. It wouldn't be going out with the invoice because PowerCode builds the invoice and whatever goes with it. And we have spoken in the past about them offering that capability.
So it'd be just like simply uploading a PDF template along with the billing, in this case with PowerCode, and then you take that and merge it all together in one mailing. That's
exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. And we do, like I said, we do that for a number of customers. I gave you the one example of the financial. We have a telco that we still do work with that bought another firm, and they had to merge. And literally, they called us up the week before billings were due, and said, "We got an issue. Help us out here." So we have a summary statement that comes out of one billing system. We have two other statements that come out of two different systems. One's landscape, one's portrait, and we have this thing, and we just, okay, give us a common field, there's the address. They called us at the beginning of the week, and they uploaded maybe 10, 20,000 pages. We merged them all together, printed and mailed them. So it's a pretty simple process to set up. The ability to detect the first page and break apart a invoice or a document into varying page length. We have been doing that. We've gotten pretty good at it. We haven't found a document yet that I can't find something on that page that tells me this is a page of a new document. So it makes it really simple. Somebody doesn't have to do processing on their back end in order to accommodate us. What you have now, we'll accept.
Right, and that's one of the key things I want to mention here is the ease of use. You guys have made it where it's pretty much brain dead easy.
We try to be. It tries to be. It's the whole idea is to make it simple for small businesses to use it. If it's not simple, then they're not going to use it. They may use it once or twice, and then they don't want to train somebody every time somebody moves through the business, through the office, where everybody knows how to print. So once somebody's done the back end setup with us with the template, anybody can print to it. And there's another use case that we see Mailxtream being very powerful. If you have, let's say, an insurance company, and their agents are constantly sending letters, quotes, those types of things to individual people, clients. Well, we could put Mailxtream on top of everybody's desktop and tie them into a single corporate account. So everybody is sitting there working. They just, okay, dear John, here's your policy. Thanks, have a great day. Click, send, attach the policy, go on to the next one. So there's no printing it. There's no stuffing in an envelope and having the mailroom come around and pick them up. It's done. And then at the end of the month, corporate gets a statement for all the jobs that have gone out that month. And you can track everyone as it goes out. So, I mean, that's in a medium-sized insurance company or that type of an office, there's a great benefit for using something like Mailxtream.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it's can I get paid quicker? And
right.
I give the option to email or not. Maybe I need to just absorb that cost and send out this stuff because I can see so many advantages to utilizing you folks to the fullest.
I think that sounds great.
Dennis, you got any other aha moments or any questions?
I am good. I think I got all the information that I need.
Well, Jay, you got anything else you want to mention about Mailxtream? Please give us information about how to get in contact with you if there's interest in the community to do business with you.
Yeah, the easiest way is to contact us at www.mailxtream.com. That's MAIL, the letter X, STREAM, mailxtream.com. There's information there. There's a contact me page there. If you'll fill that out, put a little note in about what you heard, what you want to do that's similar to us. If you put a note in the comment section that you found us on ISP Radio, we'll waive the setup charge for you. Remember, Mailxtream, a couple things that we didn't touch on here. Mailxtream has no minimums. So you can send one document, which is nobody else that I know of does that.
Great to know.
We have a what we call, it's a best effort SLA. What you upload to us by 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have to the Postal Service by close of business the next business day. There's no long-term commitments. There's no the master service agreement that you sign is basically it outlines the terms and conditions, has a non-disclosure because we use a third-party PDF generator to generate our PDFs. But it commits you to nothing financial. There's no long-term contract. If you don't like, other than the normal setup fee, if you don't like our service, we'll fund every dollar that you have remaining in your balance. So we're here to try and help small, medium-sized businesses be profitable, be productive, and if that's the case, we'll all grow.
Well, I have to admit, Jay was very responsive when I found the API within PowerCode. He responded to me pretty quick, and I mailed him off the check to get the account rolling. And when he got it, we got rolling. And I did launch my first billing with the people that wanted invoices. It was, I think, 44 to 45, and it went out, and I've gotten pretty much immediate response. So I'm pleased with what they do, and it sounds like Jay's given ISP a discount on the services that they offer, which we appreciate, and hopefully you all will take a look into Mailxtream. So with that, I think we'll wrap up the show. Dennis or Jay, any last parting comments?
I have nothing. I appreciate, again, you guys having me on the show, and I look forward to hearing from your viewers.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on the show as well. Dennis, anything else?
I am good.
All right, well, you want to wrap it up for us?
Well, just remember, everybody, Form 477, you can submit at any time. Wispapalooza is coming up. This is the last week to register, so make sure you get that done. And with that said, we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to ISP Radio. We hope you've gained new insights and additional wisdom in our industry as well as your business. Please remember to visit our show sponsors via the links on ispradio.com. If you're interested in becoming a show sponsor, contact us at sales@ispradio.com. Now go out there and push those packets as fast as you can. Good luck and Godspeed.